Hey guys, Simply Betta here. I'm in the fish room right now, and today I was trying to think of video ideas, and I realized that I've never done like a walk around of all of my fish places, like all the places that I have fish in my house. I've never really shown it all in one video or explained all the different little places, so I figured I would just give kind of a quick tour. I guess this is like a mini fish room tour. Like I'm just gonna show all of my tanks and kind of explain everything really quick. This isn't my ideal tour. Like my ideal really high production quality fish room tour would be after I finish the beautification project. But that's not going to be for a little while. I can just tell it's going to be a pretty extensive project. So I'm just going to show what I have. So when I walk into my fish room, the first thing that we come upon is my rack system. This is my Betta grow out rack. Some people call it a barracks system. So what this is it's a flow through water changer system that can hold like up to 40 fish. This is for when I have big spawns. I just need a place to separate all the males, separate the aggressive fish, let them grow out before they go to the pet store, before I sell them, that sort of thing. So you can see there's a whole lot of fish on here. Actually, a bunch of these are empty, which is fine. So to change the waters, what I do is, this is my clean water bucket, and then this is my dirty water bucket. And it's just a flow through system right now. It's not a recirculating system, although it will be eventually. So I pump the clean water through the barrack system. Each jar gets a little trickle, and then the water overflows down into the dirty water bucket. And then I have a pump in there to empty it straight into the sink. Here's my countertop. It's really nothing special. My python hose. I keep my microworms over here to feed my baby fish. Oh, and all my vinegar eel cultures are up there on the tippy top. I have to use my step ladder to get up there. This is a little IKEA small item organizer thing that I use for little things, like to hold my python doodad, a little scissors, turkey baster, tweezers, scissors. I feed my fry with this. These hold all kinds of things, brine shrimp, and then little pipettes, and I have tape and pencils and pens and food and all kinds of stuff. All right, now we're gonna look at some tanks. Oops, I have some lights off up there. So my fish room is actually a converted bathroom. This is the nook where the toilet is. It's down there right now. I just went ahead, I put some shelves on top of it to make use of that vertical space. So these are two 20-gallon longs, and those are two 20-gallon longs. Currently nothing down there. And it works out great. This is a new rack that I set up just the other day to replace like this old rack I had. I really like this a lot. It's very open. It makes my space seem a little bit bigger. And that's always a plus. I like my new rack. Down here I have 5 10-gallon tanks where it's where I hold my groups of females. It's where I grow fish out. On this shelf I have a lot of jarred fish, which when you're breeding fish, I mean, you have to jar a lot of fish, especially the males. You have to separate them somewhere safe to finish growing out, so then they can go to new homes and they can go to the pet store and that kind of thing. If you've been watching for like the past month or so, you'll know I hurt my wrists, so I was experimenting with smaller jars that I have to change the water on more frequently to see if that would help my wrists, and it didn't. I can still hardly do those. So those are going to all be replaced. Up here is where I spawn and where I raise little tiny fish, and doing some water changes up here. It's a little bit messy, but oh well. And then up there, there's currently nothing on the tippy top, although it's going to be some storage, just some dry goods storage. This is my fish room. It's very little, but I definitely make use of the vertical space. And I think I do a pretty good job. Because it is a pretty little space, I have a dehumidifier in here, and this thing works like a champ. None of my fish jars are heated. Instead, I use just a basic electric heater in here. You know, it's a pretty small space. This keeps the whole room pretty dang warm. And I have it attached to a thermostat. And that thermostat keeps this room at like 82 or so. It's just a really nice temperature for these fish. So my fish room is actually connected like to my main living space, which is really nice. It's convenient. It's basically connected to my living room. It's convenient, it's nice, and it, you know, my living space is back in here. I just don't feel like putting that on camera. But right now I'm walking out into like a little library area. So because I'm not considering this like an official fish room tour, it's just kind of a walkthrough. I don't mind that it looks messy and that it looks unfinished. You'll notice I have all these 10-gallon tanks down here for a little project that I have planned tonight. I'm actually going to be insulating the bottoms and the backs of most of these 10-gallon tanks to put on this rack. And the reason is most of these fish are going to be kept pretty warm. I want to make sure that I'm not being wasteful. I'd like to keep my power bills down as low as I can, and if insulating 2 sides of my fish tanks is going to, help a little bit, I might as well do it. Like these 20-gallon longs down here, those are insulated on the backs and the bottoms, and I'm going to do the same with my 10 gallons. I'll be using a bunch of Aqua Neat LED lights just for now. I really like my steel rack. I think it's going to work really well. And then I think if I get all these tanks set up as like a little reward, I would love to have like a 75-gallon up here. Maybe. We'll see how good I am. Either that or like 5 more 20-gallon talls. Now this room is a little messy too because it's a bit of a work in progress. On this wall, I used to have my 40-gallon rack with the 2 40 gallons. The bottom one was like a guppy tank. The top one was my immersed plant setup, so I was growing aquatic plants out of water. You might remember those in previous videos. And this rack is just my main supply rack. Right now I'm holding some guppies down there. I have a bunch of plants growing right here, more of as experiments. I have some grindle cultures going. I have a whole bunch of products that I use from Brightwell, who I'm partnered with, like their bacterial starters and their black water extract, and all of their, fertilizers and vitamins and that kind of thing. And then I have junk up here. So it's not the most organized because I'm actually planning on getting rid of this baker's rack. I mean, it's a nice baker's rack, but it's just a little too big for this space. And this is a really cool space. And I feel like if I got rid of this baker's rack, I could have room for like 2 really nice show tanks just on this wall. So I'm gonna do my best to get rid of the clutter, put some nice show tanks on this cool log wall, maybe move this chair here, and Phoebe's eating fish food off the floor. That's what she does. I don't even need a vacuum cleaner in this house. Phoebe just eats everything. She acts like I starve her. Now attached to that room I showed previously, there's this like unused bathroom. Again, that's kind of a recurring theme in this house, are unused bathrooms. So I decided I was going to put my 40-gallon rack here. Now this is the fish holding system that I mentioned in a few videos back. I'll put a little link. Basically, these are all imported fish that I'm observing for a little while, and these are all my fish that are growing out for a little while longer. And this is just a way for me to easily switch out the waters on many, many fish because I'm having a hard time doing it individually because of my wrists. I also have my macrostoma being kept to the side. Their lights are off. And that's pretty much the story about this room. So you can definitely see that I have a lot going on kind of all over the place. I'm trying to consolidate it down a little bit, like getting rid of the baker's rack, become a little more efficient with my storage, that kind of thing. And the fish rack downstairs will definitely help and come in handy if I can ever finish it. So that was a little walkthrough on all of my different areas. I hope it was kind of entertaining because I've never done that before. I've only focused kind of on like one area at a time in my house. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for following along on my February daily video challenge. Have a great day and I'll see you next time.